Hi everyone, thank you so much for being here. My name is Jane, this is my channel, International Tarot. I wanted to do a quick message regarding private readings if you're interested, okay? I just put up a temporary booking page. I'm still building out my site, but it's only going to be available till June 14th, and then I'm going to be turning it off again because I have a visitor coming here to visit me in Bali, and I won't be able to be doing privates. And then again in July for only a couple weeks. Likely I'm going to be moving to Europe after the middle of July or into early August. So it's going to be kind of sporadic, and I apologize for that, but I just got to work around my schedule a little bit. So thank you so much again, and enjoy your reading. Hello Cancer, how are you? Welcome to your monthly love reading for June of 2017. All right, let's go ahead and get started. Cancer, I've already been preparing the deck for you. Okay. Cancer. Go. Empress. Beautiful way to start this reading. Certainly you. I'm getting a very homey vibe from this. I don't know why. I'm feeling very comfortable in your element, maybe a little bit, you know what the word I'm getting is like spring fever, or the words I'm getting spring fever, even though I know it's, you know, summer, but really like imaginative and feeling very, even like heightened sexuality for some of you as well, feeling very affectionate, okay? Three of Swords kind of crossing you. Melancholy and elements of melancholy. And likely some of you are dealing with, well, heartbreak or sorrow, or trying to get over something. Doesn't have to be a breakup. Some of you could have just had some form of disappointment, right? And I think that you're really trying to like make your way past it, you know, and you are feeling, like I said, melancholy, and maybe even some of you feeling a little bit lonely, underappreciated as well. But still like really beautiful. Maybe some of you aren't really in the very social mood. It's kind of what I was like being like a homebody type of thing. Three of Swords is, I think there's a level of acceptance with that. Make sure my camera is working. Okay. There is a level of acceptance with the heartbreak, I think. I'm not saying that all of you are like totally on board with it, but I think there is an understanding that it's for the best. Doesn't mean it's easy. Doesn't mean that you're like working your way through it like clockwork or anything, but still there is acceptance, and there is, I think, looking forward to the healing part and looking forward to the getting over it part. And some of you may be like aching for that, and even some of you may be seeking, you know, maybe a little bit of superficial relationships outside, you know, and just kind of meaningless types of stuff just to help you with that, okay? Or it doesn't have to be sexual relationships. It could be just going out and dating, or it could be even going out with friends, even though you don't really have that very social vibe. It's like maybe you are kind of doing that in spite of the fact that you don't really feel like going. The Four of Coins and the Ten of Coins in the past. So some of you are really fixated, I think, on what happened or what you had. Okay, really fixated on the rainbows and the good things in your life, or in the relationship, or the things that, like I said, the things you had. These are pentacles, so they are the concrete aspects. They are reflected in our outside world. So this would be, in a relationship sense, you know, the living together, or the shared bank accounts, or the going to the park and having a picnic type of stuff, you know, the stuff that you have, the stuff that you did. And really, really focusing and not really taking yourself away from that. Now, I just said this in the Gemini reading. I'm going to say it for you as well. Now, I'm not an astrologer by any sense. However, I am learning a little bit more, and I'm trying to become more acclimated because they are so, it's so interconnected with tarot that it's like almost impossible not to do it. Now, there was a supermoon in Gemini recently, okay? And it was the 25th, I believe, the new moon in Gemini. And it was very much about the reflection of the things that we want on ourselves. And there's even a reflection here. And, you know, so if you wanted or were in love with someone that treated you poorly, what does that say about you? If you were in love with a superficial person, what does that say about you? It doesn't have to be negative. All right, I'm pulling out negative stuff just because the heartbreak, but doesn't have to be negative. Could be you're an awesome person, and yes, I do see myself in a really positive way, and yes, I do have more self-respect, or whatever it is, okay? So there's a reflection that you see, the things that you desire and what they mean about you, or how they define you, so to speak, okay? So there seems to be a little bit of that going on. It's kind of what got you here. You are focused on having everything you want, focused on love, marriage, babies, whatever whatever you define as happiness. Okay, some of you maybe just want a boyfriend or girlfriend, or a successful date might be good enough, you know, whatever it is. And you're focused on that, all right? And that is what you want. This is something that's good, all right? This is not bad. This is the good stuff. So if this is what you're thinking about and this is what you truly desire, that says that you have high morals, that says you have high level values, but likely you were in love with someone that could not provide that. Maybe you were the one that broke it off, but doesn't mean you're not still sad about it, but maybe you were the one that decided to walk away because that person was not living up to your standards, or they could not provide for you what you wanted. Ugh, I just said a lot of things. Hopefully it makes sense. Enchantress of Swords reversed. So there is that element of cutting someone off. There is that element of slicing it, and maybe even a little bit of cold turkey. Hold on 1 second. Yeah, there is that element of going cold turkey. Maybe I'm feeling like it's you, all right? Because of the connection with the Three of Swords. It might be someone else. This is the card of Libra, but it could also be any air sign or anybody, but it is Gemini, Libra, Aquarius as well. If it is you, you're the one that did the cutting off, then that's what it is. Or it could be someone else cutting you off as well, or cutting you out. This seems to be a very aloof person, or a very aloof energy, someone that is maybe even a little bit in denial about what they want, or what they could have had with you as well if it is someone else. I'm going to let you kind of do the interpretation. I'm going to keep it open. But, you know, this is certainly someone that is more, I mean, they're less sensitive and less communicative. All right, they can be very cutting with their words. They can be quite mean, but they are very, you know, they can be loving people, but it is a more masculine type of energy as well. So a lot more of that, you know, projecting outwards, whereas you, Cancer, are a water, feminine polarity, so you absorb, and they're projecting coldness and you're absorbing the coldness, okay? So it's not really the best dynamic happening here. And the Enchantress of Cups, well, this is definitely you. That is your card, the card of Cancer. Yes, likely your emotions are running very deep. You seem to be really shaken up. All right. Different value. This is someone else. I see it now. Someone else. Different values. You may have been the one cutting out. You may have been the one doing it, whatever. But there is certainly a presence of someone here. And it did not end well. An air-water mix is a little bit difficult because there is a lack of sensitivity here with the air, and there is a lot of sensitivity with the water. We're speaking in an emotional sense. Different processing of emotions does make it difficult for those two to really click and connect. The feminine masculine polarity is also at a struggle as well, but you're both reversed. You're both not on the top of your game. I'm not saying that this other person isn't hurting, okay? There's obviously a heartbreak between the two of you, or a disappointment between the two of you, significant lack of sensitivity on their part, and maybe a little bit of hypersensitivity on your part, so it kind of goes both ways. I don't think this person intentionally tried to cause you harm. They just need to do what they need to do, right? And it's no offense or no personal attack on you. And if you were the one doing the cutting out, vice versa, right? You meant no harm on them. You just got to do what you got to do. You got to find what's right for you. You got to find that right match. You got to find that right connection. 10 of Swords. See, I'm seeing an air quality, and I'm seeing like a little bit of a two-faced. Okay, so be careful of their compassion. Again, I think they care about you very much. Again, though, they just got to do what they got to do. It's kind of like, if you ever watch Sex and the City, some of you, I know a lot of you have not watched that show, but if you have watched that show, it's kind of like the big going to Paris. And he says, I always saw him as an Aquarius. I don't know why. A lot of people put him in like a Capricorn category or whatever, but I always thought that he would have been an Aquarius and she would have been a Libra. But anyway, that's just my own stupid, like, whatever. But, and he says, I need to be in a relationship where if I have to go to Paris, then I have to go to Paris. And I think that this person is they just have to go to Paris. And it has nothing to do with you. They just have stuff that they need to do. It doesn't mean that they don't care about you, they don't love you, but they're just doing what they gotta do, you know? Causing a great deal of strain and tension in the relationship, or a breakup for some of you. And you're just like, well, what about this stuff, right? And you're like, well, what does it say about me? There's a lot of deep, deep running emotion, and maybe even a little bit of like revengeful, not like you're seeking revenge, but it's like a little bit of sourness, and you're kind of even hoping for, I don't know why, I'm not saying you're hoping for them to fail, but it's just like, like there's just angst. There's angst towards them, okay? And the environment, so hold on, guys. I'm living in a homestay in Bali, so there's like a couple other people here, and the plumbing in Bali is like, it's not the US, it's not Canada or Australia, right? It's second world stuff. And every time someone takes a shower, it sounds like it's dripping, but in my drain. But anyway, hopefully you guys can't hear it really. Devotee of Wands in the reversal, likely not a lot of communication going on, and likely a lot of challenges like with the day-to-day. This I often see as taking it one day at a time. When it's in the reversal, it's like that one day at a time. If you guys are trying to eat an elephant all at once, you got to take it one bite at a time. But I think you're finding it really, really hard. Because you want the elephant, 10 of coins. You want everything all at once. You want, I'm not saying it's your fault, and I don't think that there's anything wrong with that. I think that you have high quality standards and morals. It says a lot about who you are and what you want in life. It's just this person cannot give that to you right now. I'm not saying forever, but right now they have other stuff going on. They're doing stuff, they're focused. Maybe they're more career focused. Maybe they're the breadwinner. Maybe they have to have career success, or maybe they're under some types of pressure at work, or, you know, maybe they have a lot of expectations of themselves and they're really trying to live up to it, or maybe they're just not ready. You know what I mean? Like there's a whole bunch of factors Doesn't mean that you need to stick around and wait for them. That's your choice. But don't allow the pain, right? If you are staying because you love this person, but loving them hurts you, I don't recommend staying. Now, obviously, there are a lot of factors at play. All of you have different circumstances. You're married, so you want to maintain the marriage. You have kids. You're not going to break up your family for that. So, see it the way it is. Their lack of sensitivity towards you doesn't have anything to do with you. I'm not saying you're being like overly emotional or dramatic or anything. It's just you're on different pages, okay? Please don't take offense to it. I'm not saying you're weak at all. I mean, you're both in the weak position here. Both of you are. They are doing a lot of things wrong, and you are getting very affected by it. And it's a matter of recognizing that I don't think that they're doing it purposely or maliciously. They just have to go to Paris, 10 of Cups. Interesting, I pulled this exact same card in this exact same position in the first layer of Gemini as well. 10 of Cups, 10 of Coins. I know you guys want everything you want, and there's no reason not to hope for that. I mean, that's a beautiful thing to hope for and a beautiful thing to have. The problem is, not only is this a hope, but it's also a fear. And I think some of you are afraid that you are chasing rainbows, and you are afraid that you are chasing something that you cannot have. This is an unattainable person, okay? You cannot have a Queen of Swords reversed. You can't have them. They are completely independent. They are completely free-spirited as well. Again, this is the card of Libra, and a cardinal energy, right? You're a cardinal water sign. It's about initiation. It's about following your heart. It's about intuition. It's about like the adventure and seeking and beginning new things. And like I said, they're on their own. They're doing their own thing, and you cannot capture them. Okay, fire and air, you cannot. Earth and water, I think they're a little bit more likely to be captured. Obviously, it depends on their planets, and their charts and all of that. But in general, like, you can take earth and put it in a jar. You can take water and put it in a jar, but you can't really take fire, and can't really take air and like contain it. I mean, you can, but you know what I mean. And the Three of Coins. I see this as creativity, okay? Creativity and solutions. Now, you obviously have an issue in between you, so now this is a beautiful way to find a creative way to make it work for both of you, all right? If you're totally single, it's very likely that you're dating people that are not like, you're just not working, right? So you might want to get out and be a little bit more social in the realm of work, okay? Maybe some more business networking, or doing something that helps advance your career in some way. It's likely, I often see Three of Coins as being like meeting someone through a professional channel, okay? So being social would be a really good thing for you right now. And if you are in a relationship, I often see this as counseling, okay? So getting a neutral, it doesn't have to be like a psychologist or anything, but just like even a neutral third party, a friend or a parent or someone that wants to see the best for both of you, and just getting opinions and really seeing, okay, well, what do we need to do? What do we need to really fix to make this work? Communication is likely an issue with you guys right now, okay? So everyone's kind of just clammed up. You've gone into your sorceress, kind of water place, and they went into the clouds and totally disappeared. So you're totally like disconnecting. There's like a huge canyon of emotional void between the two of you. It's like an abyss. All right, so you just got to get on the same page again. The behavior that they're exhibiting, it seems to be very detached. Hero of Swords is very compassionate. They are showing love, but I'm almost seeing it as though they're not loving you in the right way. So if you guys haven't read this book, I highly recommend, for those of you who are looking for love, or in a well, anyone. I don't know who it's by. I don't know. You're just gonna have to Google it. I haven't read it, but I need to, and I keep meaning to. And I reference this book all the time because I've read so many reviews and so many people have told me about this book. It's like the languages of love, and I don't know all of them, but it's like acts of service, words of affection, you know, touching or physical affection, quality time, and I think there's like one more. And you express love likely in the way that you receive love, but just because you do that doesn't mean that that's how they receive love or that's how they perceive it. So you guys kind of need to understand the love languages of each other in order for really to make it work, okay? And you guys both need to be open. I think they will be very open to doing that, or very opening to finding creative solutions. Some of you may be dating someone who's a little bit of a hard ass, okay, and who might be a little bit stubborn as well, but they do care about you, I feel. Now, if you've broken up with someone, likely that won't work, okay? And I don't know if this is even someone that you really want to get back. Some of you, maybe you're just like, oh, I gotta get rid of them. I really need to walk away because this is what I want. I want 10 of coins. I want 10 of cups. I want the family and love and financial success, and I want emotional stability, and I want all of it, and I don't feel that I should have to settle for that. And with this person, some of you may feel like you are settling and not getting what you really truly deserve. Again, that reflection, what you desire, what does it say about you? And if this is stuff that you want, okay, this is the order that I saw these cards. If this is what you want and you are continuing to try to make it work with someone that doesn't want those same things, well, then that's on you. And that's, you know, lack of self-respect and lack of self-value. So that's stuff that you need to work on, okay? And to value yourself and love yourself enough to know that maybe that's a relationship that doesn't serve you for the greater good. So it's going to vary for all of you. It's going to be very different. 9 of coins coming out and 5 of cups in the foundation. 9 of coins is a beauty. See, you're so beautiful, Cancer. You're such an amazing, like, presence, and like I said, you might not really be feeling like going out, but if you're single and you're trying to like get over someone, it really might be good for you to just do it anyway, and to really focus on the things that really make you happy, because I'm seeing you being at a place of abundance and wanting to share and wanting to expand. 9 of coins, 10 of coins, wanting to, like, it's like you went from the 10 to the 9, but you really want to be at the 10. So some of you have kind of downgraded if you have in fact broken up, and now you're like, oh, I have so much love to give, and I want to give and give and give. And, you know, like, you want that, but you just might not have the right person in your life right now. Okay? And I'm not saying that either one of you is the bad guy, right? Like, if you are someone that is in love with a Cancer, and it's likely that they too are being stubborn, or they too are very much focused on their own thing. So I'm not saying that it's one or the other, it's really both of you. And that canyon, that of emotional void between the two of you is really, you're both kind of at fault, and you both need to be on board to cross that bridge, otherwise it's never going to happen. There's no need to be so focused on the things that didn't work, okay? And there's no need to be so sad about those things. This will likely be a situation where some of you just like just accept that this person isn't good for you. Okay, it doesn't have to be that, oh, they don't like me, they don't want me. No, really ask yourself if this person is good for you. And if you say no, like they're really not, then don't stress, then just move on. You know what I mean? And I'm gonna say just move on. I totally don't mean to trivialize it, okay? It's incredibly hard to do, but it will say a lot about how much you respect yourself. How much do you respect yourself? How much do you love yourself? If you don't love yourself, then you're going to be in a crappy situation, a crappy relationship, and is that what you really want? Okay. 5 of Wands. Maybe some of you wanted a family and they didn't want to have a family with you. Maybe some of you wanted to get married and they didn't want to marry you, okay? So again, more reasons, 5 and 5, more reasons why you need to decide if this is right for you, all right? And again, if you're married, I'm not suggesting you get married or you get a divorce, okay? I'm suggesting that you find creative solutions to make it work. Because obviously what you've been doing is creating stress. It's creating sadness and disappointment. And you have a lot of love to give. And honestly, so do they. But they don't express love in the way that you receive love. It's different. That's why you need to learn, like, if you take quality time and words of affection as meaning that, like, wow, this person like totally loves me, but if they give you a gift and you're like, oh, thanks, and you don't appreciate that gift, maybe that's how they express love. So if they give you a gift, but it's not really how you receive it, they need to know that that's not really what you need to have happen in order for you to feel secure in your relationship. And on the flip side, maybe they're giving you a gift because that's how they receive love. So you would need to make a conscious effort to give a gift. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm totally oversimplifying here. I have not read the book. Please read the book. I don't want to get mail here in Bali because likely I'll have to pay some stupid tax. And I'm going to be moving to Europe here in the next couple months, so I'll probably buy it when I get there or buy it on my Kindle or something. But I think that would help some of you, right? Again, not a psychologist. Do what you guys got to do, okay? 4 of Swords reversed. So much mental activity and so much like thinking and worrying, so much worry. Cancer, yes, you are water sign. You do worry and fester and think a lot. I can say that I'm a Scorpio moon, okay? I have tons of emotion. You feel things so deeply. And when your mind is disturbed and when your peace and your stability is disrupted, it takes a toll on your heart and on your soul, and I completely empathize with you. And the 4 of Swords is a tough place to be, and likely a 4 of Swords about this person. Now, this is a very passionate person. See the red of her robe. She does love. She does express herself. It's just a matter of understanding, okay? Artisan of Swords. Now this, the cards in this particular deck, hold on. The cards in this particular deck, they don't have like knights and pages and stuff. And I don't see this as being an equivalent to the Knight of Swords, okay? This is a craftsman, blacksmith who has made a sword, a weapon to prepare soldiers for war. So it is a craftsman, it is craftsmanship, and it speaks to your ability to create and your ability to design, and your ability as well to be prepared, right? Soldiers need to be prepared, need to be prepared. So being prepared for battle. And I'm not saying you're gonna be going into a battle, okay? But you do need to kind of confront the issue. You cannot be passive aggressive here, and neither can they. Neither one of you can avoid this issue, right? You guys kind of need to hit it head on. Otherwise, you're going to be spending a lot of time in your head and thinking so much. And yes, 8 of Swords, a lot of like mental entrapment, mental imprisonment. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to think. I don't know what to say. And just like, oh, there's so much stress, okay? You cannot keep secrets, all right? 4 of Coins. You cannot keep secrets. There needs to be an expression of emotion. Without expressing emotion, it stays inside of you, and it can manifest itself in like physical ways, meaning your physical health is compromised, therefore affecting every other area of your life. This is obviously a significant stress point, okay? And relationships they're a huge part of our lives. So it's not fair to you to put yourself in this state. Yes, this person is stubborn. Yes, this person is difficult, but so are you. You both are kind of at fault here for this not working, or for you guys not being on the same page, and you both have to work together in order for it to make it work. Okay? Yeah, let's go ahead. The Lovers. See, the connection that you share is like the problem for some of you. Not all of you, but for some of you. Because I think some of you are really being faced with a choice. Do I break up with this person, or do I stay together? Now, there's an element of logic and systematization with the Lovers as well, and intellect and logic, okay? And I think logistically, for some, like practically, this relationship is not like, it's not totally there, but the chemistry is there. The deep adoration for that person is there, and the love, and you know, again, the Lovers doesn't always speak to love relationships, okay? But in this instance, I am seeing it in that manner, okay? It is, you have been hit by Cupid's bow, no doubt about it. So do you stay or do you go? The Moon in the reversal. I'm just going to pull out the last one as well. Seven of Wands. Again, logistically, things not working in your favor. Now, we have Mars entering your sign coming up here in the next week or so. And when Mars enters Cancer, we tend to have you know, our ability to do things is very much based on our mood, okay? You have a lot of passion for the things that you're doing. You have a lot of drive and motivation, but if you're not in the mood to do it, it's likely it will be incredibly difficult to do it, you know, and like get your hands to do the work. And it's very likely that some of you won't be in the mood to deal with this, and you're just going to be like avoiding the issue. And I think you're afraid of this dark place that you're in. It seems to be like you're going to fester in this darkness and continue to allow things to work against you. And maybe there's even going to be continued arguments, continued fighting. I'm not trying to project negativity out there. It's not like you guys are screaming and, you know, at each other or anything like that, but it's just going to feel like tension. And it's also likely that other people are going to try to give you advice. Like I said, there's constructive advice from other people and there's destructive advice from others. So you're going to have a lot of clutter, a lot of people. So be sure that you properly select, you know, the advice that you take, and don't take the advice that you want, take the advice that you need. All right, because some people are going to coddle you. In some ways, the coddling is working against you, and others are going to be honest. Trust the people who are honest with you to provide that outside opinion, because right now you're kind of operating in the dark without a flashlight. It's like trying to fix an engine with no light in the middle of the night, in the middle of like the cornfield in Nebraska, okay? I mean, that's kind of where you guys are at. And it's frustrating and it's hard, and there's not a lot of communication going on. And it just is. And there's also a little bit of a lack of initiation, right? Because again, two cardinal energies, both in the reverse position, so that like natural inclination to start and to like be a little bit more confrontational when you need to be. The thing about this, now I know you're not all dealing with a Libra, okay, but this is the energy of Libra. Now, it could be a Sagittarius or a Virgo or whatever, but they are going to be very avoidant prone. They're going to avoid, they don't want the confrontation. Libra hates confrontation. They hate people that don't like them, okay? They hate that. So they hate knowing that they're disappointing you, and they hate knowing that they're gonna have to talk about it and hear that they have disappointed you in some way. And vice versa, it goes both ways. You're both kind of avoiding it. Hierophant reverse. So it goes well with the Three of Swords, meaning that there has been some separation from the Tens, okay? Meaning that you've kind of broken that institution, whether it is now I know some of you are single, okay? I'm not trying to only speak to those of you in relationships. For those of you who are single, I think relationships are going to be hard right now, hard for you to find, okay? I don't think that you're really in the most social mood. I don't think that you're really going to be like wanting to go and do stuff all the time and going, and again, you will likely meet people or reconnect with people that just aren't quite totally there. You might have a strong connection with them, but that strong connection comes with a little bit of sour. It's like the sweet and sour type of vibe, okay? That there's true fundamental differences in how you operate and how, again, systematically how you approach problems, okay? Versus how, you know, just because the emotional connection isn't there doesn't mean the intellectual connection is there. So this institution in which you find yourself is kind of falling apart a little bit. So kind of a dramatic reading for you guys, for reals. Moving, transitioning, transforming speaks very well with a lot of the energy that we have had. We also have Saturn still in retrograde. It doesn't come out of retrograde until August. So Saturn retrogrades really slow us down and really cause us to like reflect is my big word this month, all right? Reflection and the garden, okay? The garden. Sometimes it's neutral, neither good nor bad. It just is, and sometimes you need to just accept what is and let go of the ideal, because once you let that ideal go, you will then see reality for what it is. And whether you decide to accept that reality is up to you, and also neither here nor there, not relevant. It's just you need to get to that point first. And the Hero of Coins. Interesting, I also got these out in Gemini as well. Interesting, Death and the Hero of Coins. Likely the person you're dealing with, again, non-confrontational, probably not that interested in fighting, could be a little bit on the defensive side, not the most nice person, okay? When you're confronting them or when you're dealing with it, they're going to be defensive, and they're likely going to, it's going to be difficult for them to accept responsibility for their faults, okay? So just kind of expect that going in. And you being a little bit on the defensive as well, being incredibly guarded. Like I said, there's a gully between the two of you, and it's not serving you. It's not helping in any way. So you need to find a way to bridge that gap somehow, some way, if you really want it to work. If you feel it's worth fighting for, which 9 of Wands, I think you do. 7 of Wands as well. I think you do want it to work. I think you do feel it is something worth fighting for, and it's worth defending. Okay, the question is does the other person feel that way? And the 6 of Wands, it's a card of victory and success. Be careful of the other person's, well, both of you need to be careful of your ego. Check your ego at the door in order to find solutions for this, okay? You need to set that ego behind you, and I know that's really, really hard because you're both actually coming from a place of vulnerability, okay? And because you are vulnerable, you may put on an extra amount of a front, an extra amount of pretending like you're not vulnerable, right? Just to save face or whatever. So be careful of that as well. If you find a way to be humble and find a way to accept faults, you and them, you both need to do it. If you can accept faults, then I think that you will find success in what it is you're trying to do in your creative solutions here. Six of Swords, I'm seeing you moving past it, moving past the, well, the Three of Swords, really moving past the Three of Swords. Hoping for a reconciliation, Ace of Cups, hoping for a new or a rebirth or a new love. I know you're hoping for a new love, especially if you're single. Like I said, if you are single, it's likely either an ex, this may be someone that you know. Usually kings are people that you know, all right? So an ex or someone that you're dealing with or kind of maybe have had kind of a crappy situation with. I know you're hoping for something new. It will come. I'm happy 10 of Swords is in the reversal. It means that deep, the dark and dank energy of the 10 of Swords, of feeling like maybe you're even feeling like this person totally betrayed you and stabbed you in the back, causing you to be like really closed off and defensive, okay? Maybe they did. But I think there is forgiveness here, potential for forgiveness with the 10 of Swords in the reversal, okay? It's the fallen angel. There is forgiveness there, and there is room for forgiveness and compassion between the two of you, and it does need to go both ways, all right? So really kind of a tough reading for you, Cancer. I wasn't really expecting that. I really hope that you guys can resolve your issues and work past it. Please keep in mind that energy is always shifting, and the way you act and the things that you do really can determine the success or failure of your relationship or of what you're dealing with. So I will leave you with that. Thank you so much for being here, and I'll see you in a couple of weeks with your generals, all right? Bye.